SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
You were in there?
Yeah, you were great.
I learned a lot about tackling and stance.
I think it's always good, when you come to a clinic like this, you try and take something away from a clinic, maybe go back, whatever it would be. Maybe there's something for some person and a different thing for another person. So I've just tried to be a little bit reflective and do my best.
Had to be a little different though this year, being able to talk about that turnaround you guys made and how it was all put together, I guess.
Yeah, it was, and I think there's a lot of people involved in that, and it doesn't just happen. It's a mindset, and I think anytime that there's things that need to get better, you try to critique and try and move forward, and but it's a overall. You guys can probably got the notes, so you can put those notes in. But I think the consistency and the structure that we have and the foundation that we have as a program from the past years allowed us to bounce back quick.
What has the time of reflection been like since the bowl game for you compared to a year ago when you were taking those long drives?
Yeah, it's been better, but there's still been, there's always something you're trying to get better at, and there's still things that you're trying to improve, and you're always in a state a little bit of transition, I think.
Along those lines of what the last few weeks or months have been like, are you closer on the coaching staff moves, and do you have a timetable or anything you want to announce on that?
Yeah, we hired one coach today. We hired Paul Haynes today, and he signed his contract. And very, very excited about Paul. He's coached here before, so he's got a Spartan background, but he's been the secondary coach and I think co-defensive coordinator at Ohio State, and coached on the highest level in the secondary. He's been a head coach, and I think that gives him a big picture feel. I think he's an excellent recruiter. He was a coordinator at Arkansas as well, and I think that he's a dynamic person as well. So we're very, very excited about that, and can't wait. He'll start today. He's on campus today, so if you have an opportunity, he probably would be available to talk today.
Is he your DB's coach now?
He'll be our secondary coach.
Do you know what you plan on doing for the other two positions?
Yeah, we're in the process on that, and they're going to come one at a time, really. So.
Do you have a timetable you're kind of hoping to
I get it done by midweek. By midweek. I think that to get our guys out, I'd like for them to be out on the recruiting trail for at least 2 weeks or 1 week to just sort of have a chance to introduce themselves to the new coaches and the new coaches to the high schools. So I think that we'll try and do that. We're trying, but we want to make good decisions.
Mark, we know about Messiah and Hunter and Tristan. Is there any other attrition that you would address at this time?
Yeah, LaShawn Polino Bell is decided to transfer as well, so he'll be at a junior college this year. Tristan and Hunter, and then Messiah. Those are the guys. But there's always going to be a little attrition.
Do you have any with Tressel, Mike? Is there any upgrade in his status at all?
Yeah, he'll be defensive coordinator.
Okay.
So he'll be the sole defensive coordinator.
So
we've had co-defensive coordinators before because I think that's what was warranted, and I think they deserve that. Mike's done a tremendous job, just as Harlan had. So, but I think he'll do an outstanding job. And he's been deeply, deeply involved in, as you guys probably know, in every aspect.
With the 10th, with the Harlan and Mark, obviously those are different moves. The 10th assistant, you've known that was going to be an opening. Has your approach to what area you want to address changed in the time you've had a chance to kind of look at it?
No, I think that guy's going to be a special teams assistant, not coordinator. He's going to be he's going to be a defensive back assistant. Mm-hmm. I want him to be the head coach of our freshmen, and I want him to be a conduit to our offense in some regards.
Is that kind of like a staff decision where you maybe asked other people and try to evaluate where the most need was for another body?
Well, we've got 5 coaches on offense and 4 on defense, so I think it's warranted. We have certain needs where that individual can help, but so we're going along that lines.
Mark, you've always talked about the reason of your success is continuity and everyone buying in. You're good. obviously because of a 10th assistant, there's more money, but there's going to be more money put in your assistant pool to give raises. What does that mean to you that they're not only going to obviously just pay a 10th, but they're giving you more to say, go pay your guys more? And you didn't have to lobby for it.
No, we didn't. And I appreciate Mark Collis and our administration stepping up in that regard. And you know, we want to pay our coaches sort of the going rate in terms of what they've been able to accomplish. You know, Michigan State, you look up there and you listen to that clinic, you see what's been accomplished here. You know, 100 wins in 11 years. You know, the championships and the different things that we've been able to accomplish. And that's not Mark Dantonio totally. That's our entire group of people. So most of whom are still here. Some have gone. Players as well. So we want to pay them on that at that level, and I think our administration stepped up and did that. And Mark Hollis has been tremendous.
You talked a little bit about the schedule and the altered schedule last year. Do you have a time frame yet for when you guys will start spring workouts?
Yeah, we'll start winter workouts the week of signing of the old signing day. And we'll start then, and then we'll start spring ball. I think it's February 27th, I believe. So we'll start again in February, and I believe our spring game will be April 7th. I think we may try and play it at night.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Maybe at 5 o'clock or something.
That's
like
good.
That's because of the new lights, right?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. But I've got to talk to administration about that. But I don't think that should be a problem at 5.
Is the push right now still, I mean, in terms of recruiting, how much does it feel different that maybe for this class you're only looking at a couple more? Is most of the work on next year in that right now? Yeah, you're
still working on those guys, but a lot of it is getting ahead for 19. I think recruiting has always lately been accelerated, and you see that even more now. And you guys know it's being accelerated. So, you know, with the new official visits happening with our juniors, with those high school juniors, April, May, and June, it's going to be very different. I don't know how many we'll bring in like that, but I think that's something that's going to change the game a little bit too.
Has it helped, you think, with, I mean, you guys being so clean with, you got 20 committed, you could sign 20, and that where you can still kind of, there's a couple guys in the 18 class you can go on, but now you can focus almost all your attention on 19 and kind of just move on earlier than you were allowed to in the past.
Yeah, I think in the nature of it is in the past couple of years, the 19s have really been, all of our guys were committed, pretty much. So it's worked for us. I don't know if it works for everybody, but it's worked for us, and they put in some different guidelines and rules relative to, you know, 7th semester transcripts. You got to look at it a little carefully and all those type of things. But it's worked for us initially, and it'll be interesting to see how it impacts next year's December recruiting, because this time around it was just made. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting how everybody handles it next year.
Do you? I know we talked about it with Tom a little bit, but with the transfer rules that they're talking about, do you have any opinion on that at all?
Yeah, unanimously at the coaches' convention, we were opposed to people being able to transfer immediately because of the and have immediate eligibility because of the nature of what it would do to the game and how it could affect entire teams. So I think that's the state of the coaches group as a whole.
Quick question for you. I know you're a man who talks to your players all the time about fair. Would you, if they kept it the way it is, transfers, would you like to see a rule that no coaching changes while your team is still playing, so that guys can't leave their team before a bowl and those type of things?
I would think that it would be difficult to. I don't know how that would all work, but I think it's a tough situation. There's no question. It's a tough situation because you do see coaches leaving.
When you think back to when you were an assistant just starting, did you ever imagine that there'd be guys making, assistants making more than $2 million a year? Is there a point where you saw that coming where you're like,
no,
wow,
I never saw that coming. And I've benefited, I've been blessed. But I didn't see that coming out. And I talk about, I made $300 a month when I started as a GA.
Wow.
And that 10-month contract, not 12. But and when I came here initially in 1995, I think I made $50,000. So you know, it sort of goes with the times a little bit, but it also, I guess, supply and demand, I guess.
I know you don't like to talk about specific staff members. You like to praise the whole group, but I specifically want to ask you about Brad Salem. He's turned down an SEC offensive coordinator job. He turned down another one this year at another school, and he's just stayed faithful to you, and not even for a title here. What does that mean to you when you look across the room at so many assistants others wanted who said, I'm staying with you, Coach?
Yeah, Brad Salem and our other coaches do a tremendous job. He has a tremendous group of young people that he works with. He impacts them on a daily basis, not just as a coach, but as a person. And I think that when the time is right, you know, he's going to have opportunities. I don't think there's any question about that. But he is he's a man of great character and faith, and I just think that he's a very intelligent guy. He's an excellent coach, and I just think he brings a tremendous amount of value to Michigan State football.
I wanted to just ask, I don't know if you have an opinion or have anything to say about Atlanta, or kind of where your thoughts are of what's going on right now.
Well, obviously our hearts go out to the victims in this case, and it's a very, very difficult situation for them, and it's awful. I guess with that said, in 11 years of dealing with President Simon on so many different occasions in so many different areas, I've always found her to be very reflective, very calm in a storm, very on point, and I've always appreciated that about her. And she's much like a head coach in my little world that I'm in, and I can't control things at times. I would say she's it's a very difficult and delicate situation, and I really don't think that I'm even qualified to talk on it, but I can only speak to her, my involvement with her, and how she's handled very difficult situations. I think she's led from that perspective with Mark Dantonio on our football team.
Mark, Harlan was with you for a long time, 14 years. How odd is it going to be not having him there, and what are you hoping? I mean, obviously, what are your wishes?
Well, you always try and fill the void, and you always try and get a little bit better in certain areas. Father Jay. You try and always get a little bit somebody else brings a little bit something different, and you lose something, and that's part of it. But sometimes you got to give up to go up. You got to give something to go up. So that's on both ends of the stick there. So we wish him the best, and we're going to fill that. We filled that position, I think, with a tremendous secondary coach who's had. He's had success at the highest level. He's coached, I think, in 2 national championship games. He's coached in every major college bowl game. I think every year that he was there, they won the Big Ten championship. He's coached NFL players at a high level, all conference players. He's been a head coach, so he's had to deal with things that have a deep understanding of all the things that can befall coaches and players and things of that nature. And I just think that. We're very, very fortunate to have him on our staff. Great person.
Have you had, other than assembling staffs, this many vacancies to fill at once?
Well, one was the new coach, so no, I don't think we've ever had 2 coaches leave at once.
I
think that's highly
process
unusual.
Been for you?
It's been, a little bit more difficult than usual, but we haven't had that, and that's the reason I sat up there in the clinic and talked about our continuity. When you have the same teacher in the same setting, you can critique. You can critique and you can change things, but you have the relationships. Now, if the relationships get broken, which was not the case, then changes probably have to be made. But if the relationships are not broken and there's a belief system in place, then it's all good.
Did you say Mike was still going to be doing linebackers too?
Mike will do linebackers. He'll be our linebacker coach. I think he's too good of a coach not to have coaching our linebackers. He's been doing it for 14 years. And he'll be the defensive coordinator. He'll call it.
Obviously, with Paul, and then another name I'm sure you're going to announce Monday, and the other guys you're interviewing for the 3rd spot, you're adding guys with head coaching experience, guys with major coordinator experience. How big of it is it a blessing to be at a place where you're going to add position coaches with that kind of experience?
Yeah, it'll be a big advantage, I think, for us, because I think, much like I talked in there, you got to be a big picture thinker. And so it helps when you hire a guy who's coached a variety of positions or has been in a position of leadership and stood up in front of an entire football team or stood in front of the press and had to deal with issues, however they felt. And I think it's a positive. I just think that these guys that we have an opportunity to get have had a lot of experience in dealing with other issues rather than just football.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark.